Good morning. Good morning. We are talking all about a morning routine. In fact, this week we are talking all about routines and schedules, success schedules, in order to help you maximize life and get the most out of your professional and personal lives. So, today in this video, we're talking all about your morning routine. This week, like I said, in this month, what we're talking about is mindset hacks, tips, and best practices in order for you to live your best life, in order for you to maximize your mindset, in order to advance your career, both professionally and advance your life, to live your life as the best version of you, so that we can eliminate some of that mental load that you might be carrying, eliminating some of that stress and anxiety that you might be carrying, and again, maximize your time so that you can get more life out of life, right? This week and throughout all of the month of November, we're going to be talking about some really incredible mindset tips and hacks that myself, my husband Jack, and my team have implemented in order to significantly enhance not just their productivity, our efficiency, but truly to gain a better version of our lives. And we want to share this with you, in order for you to gain some of that wisdom and implement it with yourselves. When we implement these things, not only are we more productive at work, we're more efficient, we work more in a flow state, which means that we work more with ease. Now, it's not saying that work becomes easier. We still do hard things, but we do it in more of an aligned fashion, and we do it with less stress, less anxiety, and we do it to avoid burnout. Now, why is this so important? Well, for myself, and just to be completely honest and transparent, if you know my story, you already know this. If you don't know my story, I've been in 2 full burnout cycles in my career. One was in corporate America when I was in my senior HR position, leading teams and training and working 60 to 70 hour weeks. And I burnt out and I ended up in the hospital after a migraine that lasted for 6 weeks. I also burnt out and landed in the hospital in my business because I didn't learn some of these tips and hacks and best practices to take care of myself first. And I brought some of those limiting beliefs, some of those unhealthy habits that I learned in corporate into my business. And so if you're feeling that stress, you're feeling that burnout, if you're feeling like I don't have enough time in the day to get my work done, I feel like I'm constantly putting myself last in order to get stuff done or do things for other people, then this video is for you. So yesterday we dropped a podcast episode, Jack and I, about the importance of having a success schedule. We dropped some extreme value bombs for you about statistics, about why having a schedule actually provides you freedom. And I know it sounds a little bit counterproductive. It's like, oh, I'm sticking to this schedule and ooh, it feels rigid, but it actually provides an extreme amount of freedom for you. It reduces your mental load and it gives you a life worth just embracing and expanding, right? What I want to focus on today is why a morning routine truly matters. Besides the fact that a morning routine sets the tone for the entire day, it can truly influence your mood, your energy levels, and your productivity. An optimistic, right, a constructive outlook on life, outlook where challenges are being seen as opportunities for growth, is going to set you up for success, not just in your professional life, but in your personal life, because it's going to get you out of that victim mentality and it's going to get you into a curiosity mindset, a strategic mindset, and a self-leadership mindset. This is going to serve you well in your own life, right? Because now you're not going to be that victim who's, oh, why me, poor me, but it's also going to advance you in your career because you are going to have that skill set of being able to see opportunities, see ways out, you're going to be able to see solutions where other people only see problems. Multiple studies also show that morning routines can do some really great things for your body too. It can affect your cortisol levels, your circadian rhythm, and your overall mental health. By taking care of yourself, the first thing you do when you wake up for that first couple of hours, it's going to make sure that your cup is filled first, right? It's going to make sure your energy levels are filled up first. And you're going to end that day knowing I was taken care of. I took care of myself, and then I can go and I can serve others in whatever capacity, in my job, in my family, in my school, and wherever I am needed throughout that day at a much higher capacity because I took care of myself first. And other positive outcomes, again, are reduced stress, improved focus, and enhanced innovation and creativity, which is really going to set you apart from those others who are barely just chugging coffee and scraping by to get by, right? So creating a growth and expansion mindset at the beginning of that day, it's going to encourage that resilience, that willingness to take on challenge, that innovation, that creativity, and you're going to feel better. So here are some things that I recommend having and including in your morning routine. And then we're going to talk about how to get started, right? Because going from having no morning routine, hitting that snooze button over and over and over again, rolling out of bed and jumping in the car or rolling into your office at the last second, because I've been there. I have been there. Is going to be a really jarring thing, right? If you're going from waking up at 8:35 to get into your office at 9 to waking up at 5 o'clock, it's just not going to happen, right? So we want to make sure it's sustainable. So what are some things that Jack and I feel that our team feels are really good buckets or categories of things to add into your morning routine in order to make sure that you're taking care of your whole self to tackle that day? I always recommend adding some sort of physical activity, right? Now this is tough, right? I know for myself, I love doing my physical activity first thing in the morning. Jack, it was hard for him. He was used to working out in the afternoon and the evening. And so working out in that morning, that's a little tough, right? So what does that mean to you? What I like for myself is to do my physical activity in that morning so that it gets done and off of my plate. And then I don't end that day beating myself up if it doesn't get done, right? So some physical activity, and that could be yoga or Pilates or weight training or walking or whatever it is, your Peloton, right? So some sort of physical activity. This is going to be a way to really get the blood flowing and get you waking up. Next thing that I always recommend is some sort of mindfulness or meditation. I personally love just going on YouTube, finding a 10-minute meditation that includes some visualization and just sitting still with my coffee and enjoying a meditation. Maybe for you, that includes some prayer, or it includes silent meditation, or a walking meditation, or a shower meditation, whatever it is for you. How are you quieting your mind, right, before the really hustle and bustle of the day starts, right? It's like, woo! This could also be journaling, right? It could be morning pages, right? Where you're just writing down whatever comes to your mind. The point of this category of things that you can do in your morning is to start your mind with a fresh slate. When I went to college and all through my 20s, I used to wake up with an extreme amount of panic and anxiety. For someone like myself who's a little neurodivergent and whose mind, as soon as they wake up, it's going a million miles a minute, it's really hard to continue and sustain that for long periods of time, right? If your mind is going and going and going, the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep, it's very taxing. It's very taxing. It's going to lead to things that I've experienced, like migraines, burnout, stress, exhaustion, etc. And so what I like to do for myself is take all of those thoughts, that are in there and get them down onto a piece of paper. It's not like we're ignoring them or pushing them to the side. It's taking them and putting them somewhere where I can address them when I'm ready to address them, when I'm in my office, right? When I'm ready to, not first thing in the morning where it's going to cause this anxiety and panic attack because I'm not ready for it, right? So highly recommend either morning pages, journaling, or a meditation where you can calm that mind, get to a base level of peace and calmness so that you feel way more prepared to go and tackle that day. The next thing that I always highly recommend is a gratitude practice. Now, this can be coupled in with your meditation, of course, if you want to kind of do a gratitude sort of meditation. But what I love about a gratitude practice is this is going to raise your vibrations, it's going to put you into a much better mood, and it's going to help put things into perspective. Now, we're going to, the week of Thanksgiving, spoiler alert, do a whole week on the power and the science of gratitude. And you are going to be absolutely shocked at the incredible benefits of gratitude alone. There are significant amount of facts and studies that have been done on this, but this does not need to be super intensive. Jack and I actually, just a little peek inside of our lives, we actually have a box that sits at the end of our hallway. And it's one of those boxes that have like a little latch on it, and it has a little slot on it, sort of like a bank, right? And what we do is we use these little Post-it notes and we write a little gratitude on it and we stick it in the box. And at the end of the year, we like to read on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day all of the things that we were grateful for that year. But what this does is every day, just putting something in there, it reminds us what we're grateful for. And it reminds us and it puts things into perspective when our minds start going about all of the negative things in life. It reminds you to be grateful about what is good in your life. And it could be as simple as I'm breathing fresh air. I'm grateful for my spouse. I'm grateful for the bed that I got to sleep in and this really comfy pillow, right? It could be very, very small, but this is going to give you and your body and your mind a significant boost. These can also be coupled with affirmations, right? So if you're working on rewiring some of those negative thought patterns that you've spent your life believing about yourself from either the media, your parents, your own self, whatever it is, these are a good time to start telling yourself and putting those really positive affirmations and rewire those neural pathways. These could simply be, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am confident, I am valuable, I am valuable just for being me. These are the simple phrases that, to be honest, our brains are so used to telling ourselves the negative things, and it takes anywhere between 3 to 5 positive things to outweigh and outwork those negative things. So just saying those simple positive affirmations about you, which are true, is going to help do the work of outweighing those negative things. The other things that I encourage you to include in your morning routine is going to be those healthy lifestyle habits. Getting your water, doing your shower, brushing your teeth, washing your face, those types of things. Those things that are going to physically and mentally impact our clarity and our energy throughout the rest of our day. Why am I talking about these, right? It's because the next step is going to be getting them into an actual routine. This is how we set it up. Now, I am the type of person that I need these things written down, right? My brain doesn't remember to automatically brush my teeth unless I have a reminder. Or I'm habit stacking, right? I have a very extensive skincare routine, but I don't remember all of the steps just automatically, even though I've been doing it for years. And so what I always recommend is to use the tools that work for you. And so one of the tools that we have is we've written down on one of those very, very big Post-it notes, larger than these, the full size big ones. the routine that works for me, and I have it hanging on my bedroom wall. Is it the most sexy home decor? No, but it works for me because that's what I need. I have written on my bathroom mirror in dry erase marker my skincare routine. These are the things that I need to see in order to keep myself on track so that I feel the best version of myself every single day. And one of the best gifts that I give myself is I take 5 to 10 minutes every single evening and I plan out the next morning and the next day. And part of that is visualizing myself going through that morning routine step by step so that the next morning when I actually do it, it almost feels as if I've already done it because I've already visualized myself doing it. So those are some tips on things to add into your morning routine and stay on it, right? If it's one of those things that having a routine is hard to do and you're not sure, give yourself the tools. Write it on a Post-it note, write it on a big Post-it note, write it on a piece of paper and stick it somewhere that you can see. My other tips are that I use alarms. If I want to make sure that I have the time to do certain things, I set alarms on my phone so that it reminds me of where I need to be next. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my morning routine. I wake up at 5 o'clock every single morning, and it didn't start this way. And I'm going to tell you about how to get started and how to work up to a morning routine that works for you. Wake up at 5 o'clock every day. Jack and I spend a couple of moments in bed, cuddling, talking, waking up, etc. Right? From there, I go into the bathroom, use the restroom as most of us do. I brush my teeth, and then I come out and I get dressed into my workout stuff, right? From there, I go and I do anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes of yoga and Pilates. But I have an alarm that goes off at a certain time to remind me that if I'm not done with my yoga and Pilates, that I should wrap it up sometime soon to move into my meditation time. This is going to help keep me on track so that if I get distracted by an email or if I get distracted by some social media, it's going to keep me on track. I also have an alarm going off at 5:45 to remind me to get my butt into the living room to start my yoga and Pilates in case I spend a little bit too much time getting dressed or checking my email or any of that other stuff, right? So I have an alarm to wake up, an alarm to get me into the living room to start working out, an alarm for when I should be done working out. Then I have my meditation. I have an alarm for when I should be done with that meditation with some buffer time and when I should be in the shower. Then I have an alarm for when I should be wrapping up my shower and getting into my office to get ready for the day, hair and makeup, all that other good stuff, right? Now, in between that, I have enough buffer time to do things that are important to me, like journaling, pouring a cup of coffee for myself and Jack, and all of the other things like my skincare routine. But these are checkpoints for me that I have tools built in to make sure that I'm staying on track and I get to do all the things for me that I really, really want to do and still make it to my desk on time to have my meeting with Jack and be fully prepared and present and intentional, not hurried, rushed, or anxious before my first meeting. And that works for me and I feel great every single day. So how do you get started? How do you get started on this if this is something that works for you? Well, first, start small. Start small. Figure out what time you need to be somewhere and work your way backwards. This is going to help you figure out, okay, what do I want to do to get started and how much time do I have? This will let you know what time you need to start waking up. I always recommend add some buffer time. There's always going to need to be some buffer time, right? Maybe you need to spend a little bit longer in the bathroom. Maybe you didn't factor in the pouring of the coffee and the getting your water ready or the getting changed. That's a mistake that I made at first too, right? So create an alarm to get up and start working your way backwards, right? Maybe you want to just start doing 10 minutes of exercise a day at the beginning. So then you maybe want to start an alarm for 20 minutes so that you have that buffer time, right? And then you want to start working your way backwards. The thing with this is that you're going to have to adjust both your evening going to bedtime and your waking up time. It's going to be easier if you start shifting it slightly backwards, right? Um, Another challenge that you're going to find as you do this is that you're not going to have the motivation to do this every single day. It's just going to happen, right? A habit takes time to build. So, what I like to do, and this is a big tip, is I like to listen to music. I want to make this fun. I want to be in the best of moods by the time I hit my desk. And so what I do is I designate specific playlists or songs for the specific activities that I'm doing. Now, I might not be listening to music while I'm doing my meditation, but I have a playlist for when I work out. I have a playlist for my shower. I have a playlist for when I'm getting ready and putting my makeup on. And this is a great way, and sometimes I even listen to audiobooks when I do this too. It's a great way to get really excited about a specific song you want to listen to, or a specific playlist, or a specific audiobook that gets you up and out of bed. The other things that I include too is, for me, showering in the morning when it's cold in the wintertime. Ooh, that sounds like torture to me. Ooh, it's so cold, right? But what I've done is I got really big into body scrubs. Ooh, I just love how they feel. My skin feels afterwards too. And so I flipped my mindset. Instead of being like, oh, I don't want to shower because it's going to be cold, I say to myself, I do want to shower because then I get to use my body scrubs. So really reshaping your mindset, instead of saying, oh, I have to do this morning routine, you get to really turn it around for yourself and say, I get to spend time with myself, and I get to do it before anyone else is awake, before I even have to talk to anyone, which is fantastic, right? You get to have this time for you. The final thing is, another challenge might be a lack of visualization, a lack of understanding what you might want in your morning routine. And so I'm giving you permission to F around and find out. F around and find out. Figure out what works for you. Maybe you try getting up and you try doing a little yoga and you're like, yoga's not for me. Go try Tai Chi or Pilates or weightlifting. Maybe you try meditation and you're like, forget it. I hate meditating. I hate sitting still. Try journaling, right? Maybe you don't like showering in the morning. It's just not for you. Okay, you figured it out. That's okay. Tack that onto your evening routine, right? Whatever you want to do, what I want to just hone in on for a quick second is, I want you to start viewing mornings as an opportunity for you to take care of you. Most people that we work with are high achievers or leaders. And what I have found so far too often in my life, in Jack's life, my team's life, clients that I work with, when they're high achievers and leaders, what happens is they spend most of their professional and even their personal life in belief systems and habits that they've created where they are in this cycle of achieving, and that comes with some patterns that include people pleasing, putting themselves last, and overstepping their own boundaries that they've created for themselves, and that creates a lot of burnout, stress, exhaustion. And what I truly want for you, and what I have seen for people who take care of themselves first, is that they end up going farther in the long term, because we're here not just for a good time, but also for a long time. And I want you to remember, you only get one of you. So take care of you, because there's no way you could take care of anyone else in your family, on your team, or in your life unless you take care of yourself first. And the morning routine, from what we have found, has been one of the best ways to do that, because it's a way to fill your cup up first, take care of your needs first, and really get in touch with you before you go and tackle the day. Again, this month we're going to be talking about all different kinds of mindset hacks, life hacks, and really great ways to take care of you in order to make sure that you excel in your career. So please make sure that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to the Career Advancement Academy podcast as well. We drop the episodes on this YouTube channel. You can check out yesterday's as well. So we really want to make sure that you're living your best life. Drop in the comments, what is your morning routine? Do you have one? Are you going to be implementing one after watching this? And if you already do have one, what are some critical things that I may have missed in my morning routine that I should potentially start adding in? I would love to hear. I hope that you all have a wonderful week. I can't wait to come to you next week with another full-length video, and I hope that you have an amazing rest of your week.